Romance of Sui in Tang Dynasties Chapter 6.
We've got the Duke of Tang, General Lai.
Described as a Sui court tiger minister. Sounds impressive.
Oh, definitely. But it's his wife, Lady Du, whose backstory really sets the stage for all this.
Okay.
Well, Lady Du was related to the previous dynasty, the Northern Zhou. And the text says when she was just 7 years old. 7?
Wow.
And the Sui dynasty took over. She was apparently so devastated about her uncle's dynasty collapsing that she actually wished out loud she'd been born a man. So she could have gone to war and, saved the dynasty herself.
A 7-year-old thinking like that.
Ew.
That tells you something about the family ethos, that desire for agency, for martial action.
Exactly. So it's maybe not surprising then that their daughter, she's 16. When our story happens, she's not into the usual stuff.
It's needlework and things.
Right. The source specifically says she prefers opening the bow and dancing the sword, like Sun Quan's sister, a real warrior daughter.
So the parents knew they couldn't just marry her off to some polite scholar type.
No way. The Duke of Tang, General Li, he explicitly dismisses the usual candidates, calls them vulgar sons, Yong Liu Suzi.
Harsh.
He's looking for something else, a non-vulgar singular talent, but he's also feeling a bit stuck.
And that's where the setting becomes important, right? The temple.
Yes. General Li is basically cooling his heels at this temple because his wife, Lady Du, is actually giving birth in the abbot's private quarters, no less.
Okay, so he's waiting around, probably bored.
The text says he felt constrained, shen shuchu. Boredom kicks in. And that boredom leads him to, wander around and check the place out.
And this is where the accidental discovery happens.
It's a perfect example of talent scouting happening purely by chance. He is walking the monastery grounds, killing time, and he stumbles on this particular spot. A clean, quiet retreat. A Jingxi Guachu. Immaculate place. Clearly someone refined lives there.
And he sees something.
His first clue. Visual data. On a screen door, right next to a relic pagoda, there's this impressive couplet, written in really striking calligraphy.
What did it say?
It described the purity and vastness of the world, very high-minded language, suggests real moral character, deep thought.
And the writing itself.
Just as impressive. The source notes strong, heroic brushwork. This wasn't just scribbled down, it was a cultivated display of skill.
And he knows who wrote it.
Yep. Clearly signed. Chai Xiao, courtesy name Sichang of Fenhake County. So General Li sees this and thinks, okay, this young man is educated, thoughtful, capable of heroic expression. First box ticked.
But like you said earlier, scholarly refinement alone, maybe not enough in chaotic times.
Precisely. So later that night, maybe he's still restless, wandering under the moonlight. He hears chanting, coming from that same retreat.
The second data point.
And arguably the more critical one, what's this refined scholar actually studying?
Not just poetry, I'm guessing.
No. If he was just aiming for a standard civil career, you'd expect the Confucian classics, right? The Kong Meng Ru Shu, the standard texts for governance, stability.
Yeah.
But Chai Sichang is deep into Sun Wu's art of war. Sun Wu being Fa.
Oh, okay. That's a big deal. Reading The Art of War like that, it shows a focus on military strategy, on crisis management.
Exactly. It elevates him immediately. He's not just some academic. He's thinking pragmatically about the world he's actually living in.
And signals he's ready for the chaos.
He knows what time it is, strategically speaking. He's not prepping for exams. He's prepping for the battlefield, essentially.
And there's one more piece.
One more crucial observation. General Lian kind of peeks through the window.
Naturally.
He sees Chai Sichang finish his reading, pull out a treasured sword, a king ping, the text says, and then just launch into this dramatic, totally uninhibited martial dance.
Wow. And the text says he danced as if there was no one else present.
Yeah. It wasn't for show. It was just him. An expression of his inner warrior.
So let's recap the data points. The poetry, the philosophy, the art of war, and now this raw martial skill display.
Put it all together. General Li is sold. Instantly.
That's the aha moment, right? He sees how it all fits together.
Yes. He connects the dots. He knows he needs someone for his daughter, maybe even for his own ambitions, who can operate on both levels. He gets that in this chaotic world, Dang Shi Shi Ji, the text calls it a simple scholar is basically toast.
He needs that integrated talent, The Jian Kai.
The combined talent. And then we get that amazing quote, the metric for leadership in crisis.
The one that should be on every job description.
Exactly. He declares Chai Si-cheng is the rare talent who can be upsaddle to strike bandits, dismount to draft proclamations, Xiamakao Lubu.
Upsaddle to fight, dismount to govern, that's powerful.
It's the complete package. Fight the battle, then immediately write the orders to run the place you just took. Military and civil competence. Instantly switch between them.
Pivot competence. Okay, this guy is maybe worthy of the warrior daughter.
So General Lai, he doesn't hesitate. He immediately goes to the abbot, Wukong, and says, you need to be the matchmaker here.
Get this done.
Right, and the meeting is set up quickly. Chai Si-cheng agrees. Apparently he's keen to get advice and be near the general anyway.
And what's he like in person?
Well, the description fits the hero mold perfectly. Eyebrows like a resting moon, eyes like the morning star. Looks the part.
Classic hero features.
And his character seems solid, too. When General Li wants to treat him with full guest honors, Bin Li, Chai Si-cheng humbly insists, no, let's sit according to the student-teacher hierarchy. Shi Sheng Li. He's showing respect, not grabbing for status.
Smart move. Respectful. Doesn't seem arrogant.
Check, check, check. From General Li's perspective, he's found his man, perfect son-in-law, case closed.
But we know it's not quite that simple. The vetting isn't over.
Not by a long shot. The general rushes off to tell Lady Du, probably bursting with excitement.
And she pumps the brakes.
Immediately. She's the voice of caution. Remember her background? The 7-year-old wanting to save a dynasty?
Right. She's not easily impressed.
She reminds him, look, marriage is a 100-year affair, a lifelong commitment. And then she says, crucially, I know my daughter best. She is not like ordinary girls. She has her own insights and actions.
Basically, you checked his resume, Dad, but we need to check his suitability for her.
Spot on. You vetted his competence as a general, maybe as a political asset. But is he the right partner for this specific woman in this specific world? Different question.
So Miss Lai, the daughter, gets told about this amazing find.
And she's, let's just say, she's not planning the wedding colors yet. She hears the description, handsome, talented.
The key Mao. Looks and talent.
Right. But her reaction is pure critical thinking. She basically asks, is that enough? Are looks and general talent sufficient to quell chaos? Kan ping ho luan.
Wow. That's a sharp question from a 16-year-old.
She gets the political reality instantly. She argues that guys who only have that soft scholarship and good looks, well, when a real crisis hits, they can only sit and await death.
Ouch. She thinks her dad might have been taken in by a performance.
Essentially, yes. He saw a nice poem and a bit of shadowboxing in a quiet room. That's not proof of competence under actual pressure. It's potential, maybe, but not proven capability in the field.
It's really striking. She needs proof that his talent is practical, resilient, not just pity.
Now, when her mother mentions the sword dance detail, the text says that does pique her interest a bit. She softens slightly.
Okay, so the martial aspect resonates.
It does, but she still refuses to just say yes. She keeps control. She decides she must slowly deliberate. Man Shengzhu.
Strategic delay, no rushing.
Shows her confidence, how seriously she's taking this. She explicitly voices a fear. She might lose herself to an unworthy mate. Xin Fei-yu. This isn't just about politics, it's personal risk.
So what does she do? She can't just take her dad's word or even her mom's observation about the sword dance.
She takes the final step, the active step. She goes to her nurse, Xu Shi, and they cook up a plan.
A plan?
Yes. She decides she has to move beyond observation and secondhand reports. Her conclusion. We need to lure him here to test his skills. Zuantalai Zhao Shi Yi Fan.
Test him?
Well, the text doesn't say yet, but the intent is clear. She needs a real-world simulation, a pressure test designed by her to see if he can handle, well, probably handle someone as formidable as herself and the world she expects to live in.
So if we just kind of step back for a second, this whole sequence, it lays out this really interesting 3-part vetting process, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's almost a blueprint, and you could argue it's relevant today, whether you're, hiring a CEO or choosing any kind of critical partner.
Okay, break it down.
First, you have the father, the duke. He vets the raw skill through observation, calligraphy, study habits, martial display, sees the potential.
Right. Then mother, Lady Du.
She vets the character and the context, uses consultation, her own wisdom, and crucially understands the specific needs and nature of the person involved, her daughter. Adds that layer of suitability.
And finally, the daughter herself, Miss Lai.
She insists on vetting competence under pressure through an active custom-designed test. She needs proof of crisis readiness, not just potential.
It's fascinating. They weren't just looking for someone to, fit into the family nicely.
No, not at all. They were vetting for a partnership robust enough to navigate total chaos. The standard metrics, wealth, family status, those were probably givens. They were digging deeper, looking for proven competence, adaptability, and that blend of martial and civil skill.
She dismissed the easy stuff looks, basic literacy in favor of asking, can this person actually do something when things get rough?
Exactly.
Okay, so the stage is set for this very unusual partnership.
Yeah.
Let's get into the context. How does the story actually start?
Well, it starts conventionally enough, actually. You have Chai Gongzi, who's already highly regarded by Duke Tang, Tang.
Okay.
And the Duke treats him with, the text says, courteous deference and genuine warmth. So things are looking good. Marriage is proposed.
It's straightforward so far.
But Chai, he has a sense of his own worth, right? He's curious. Is this bride just beautiful, or is she more? A true partner? He kind of needs some reassurance.
Understandable. So who delivers this reassurance?
Well, the messenger who shows up is the first hint that this isn't your typical situation.
Okay.
It's the elderly maid, the Baomu. But the text gets really specific here.
How so?
It describes her having large eyes, bushy eyebrows, and being tall with large feet.
Not exactly the image of a delicate go-between.
Not at all. She embodies this, gravity and authority. It signals straight away that these aren't lighthearted romantic negotiations. This is serious business.
Got it. And what news does she bring about the young lady?
She brings news that, she's talented and beautiful, but way more than that. She deeply studies the mysteries of the absolute top-tier military texts.
Like which ones?
We're talking the big ones. Sun Wu's Art of War.
The classic?
Right. The Lu Tao, or Six Secret Teachings. And the San Lu, the 3 strategies of Hong Shigong.
Wow. Okay, that is not casual reading material.
Definitely not. It says a lot about how she saw herself,
Yeah, absolutely.
And her vow is explicit. She will only marry a man who is, and this is a direct quote, good at martial arts, capable in literature, clever, and resourceful. Exactly. It's basically a job description for a co-commander, not a love letter.
So the test gets set up because the Duke already noticed Chai's sword skills.
Precisely. The father saw the martial flair, but her standards demanded more. She needed someone who could lead with her. Cleverness and resourcefulness had to be proven.
The bar is set incredibly high. Martial skill gets you in the door, but strategic thinking gets you the partnership.
You got it.
So, challenge accepted. And the setting for this, this midnight military exam, sounds pretty dramatic.
Oh, it is. It's scheduled for after the second watch, the Urgu.
Late night.
Very late, under exceptionally bright moonlight. And the place itself is fantastic. This large, desolate, empty space behind the Guanyin Pavilion.
Guanyin Pavilion.
Okay. Yeah, near the vegetable garden and a small mound, a Tushan. The whole atmosphere just ramps up the tension, doesn't it?
It really does. Turns courtship into a secret military operation.
And it's formalized like one, too. They use 2 bamboo branches as a symbolic camp gate, the Yuan men.
Okay.
But here's a critical detail. The command structure.
Right. Who's actually running this test?
It's not the bride herself, not yet. The array is commanded by a lady-in-waiting or maybe a female teacher. The text mentions someone with hair done up high, wearing a short embroidered jacket. She's holding a small command flag.
So the bride stays hidden.
Exactly. It's a blind test of his strategic ability. He doesn't know who he's ultimately impressing, visually at least.
Right. The exam begins. Array number 1. The warm-up, you call it.
Yeah, the warm-up. This first formation has maybe 10, 20 women dressed in alternating colors, red, white, blue, yellow.
Okay.
All armed with these shiny single swords. They're circling, lining up.
And Chai's reaction?
He clocks it immediately, dismisses it almost, says, this is the long serpent array, the Changshi Zhen, and adds, nothing unusual.
A bit confident there.
Well, it makes sense strategically. The long serpent is a known formation, though difficult. It's about flanking, a winding attack.
Like a snake striking.
Kind of, yeah. It tests if you can handle pressure from multiple points. It's foundational. If he couldn't even recognize that, the test would be over before it began.
So it proves baseline knowledge, but a good general knows the warm-up isn't the main event.
Exactly. He shouldn't get cocky. And he doesn't have time to because the flag flips. And then the real test starts instantly. The women break formation and regroup fast into 5 tight groups of 4, standing back to back.
5 groups of 4.
Yeah.
Okay, more complex.
Much more. And Chai recognizes this too. He says, now this is the 5-blossom array, the Wu Zen.
The 5-blossom array. Why is that so much more dangerous than the long serpent? What's its strategic purpose?
Well, the 5-blossom isn't about a long, winding attack. It's more like a dynamic geometric trap.
Trap?
Yeah. It's designed to test recognition and precision, not just brute strength. By arranging themselves in these 5 small, mutually supporting groups, they basically eliminate any weak flanks.
Ah. Okay.
Right.
So you can't just punch through one spot.
Exactly. It guarantees that the lone attacker, Chai, is constantly surrounded. He's never facing fewer than 2 or 3 opponents at once from different angles. It's meant to contain, exhaust, and confuse.
And the source description sounds almost beautiful, despite the danger.
It really does. It describes the red and white clusters like snowflakes dancing and the blue and yellow like warblers' wings fluttering.
Like deadly art.
That contrast is important, I think. It highlights how intellectual this fight is. It's strategy made visible, almost aesthetic.
Okay, so Chai sees this beautiful deadly array. What does he do?
Well, he's confident in his martial skill,
Yeah.
right? So he rushes in, tries to break the formation.
Right.
Immediately blocked. 6 flashing knives meet him, and those 5 groups just flow around him. They successfully surround him, cutting off every path. He can't advance, can't retreat. He's stuck.
Now, here's the interesting part. Why couldn't a skilled warrior just, overpower 20 women, even in a formation?
Right. That's the core dilemma, and the text gives 2 really brilliant reasons. Neither is about him being physically weaker.
Okay, what's the first one?
Propriety. Simple as that. He was afraid of actually hurting the women.
Ah.
This wasn't just a brawl, it was a test within a specific social context. It was assessing his strategic patience, his respect for opponents, maybe even his suitability as a husband who wouldn't just use force. That's a much higher level requirement than just winning.
Okay, that makes sense. Respect and restraint. What was the second reason?
The second reason is pure tactical genius on the part of the bride or her instructor. It's a unique weapon complication.
Weapons. I thought it was swords.
They had swords, yes, but the key weapon used against him in the array wasn't the swords. The women in each team were wielding red silk cotton ropes. Lassos, basically. The Hong Simian Sua.
Ropes, not swords.
Exactly. They weren't trying to cut him down directly. They were throwing these lassos over his head, constantly trying to trip him, entangle him, drag him down.
Whoa. Okay, that changes everything.
It totally does. It forces him onto the defensive. He can only parry, dodge, try not to get tangled. It completely strips him of his offensive ability to break the array head on.
That's brilliant. It shifts it from a physical fight to pure strategic defense and evasion. He has to fight carefully and worry about literally tripping up.
Precisely. So the tension is high. And then Chai spots something. He thinks he sees the weak point.
What does he see?
He sees a view of the jade-faced Guanyin statue, sort of half visible through a window behind 2 red lanterns. He thinks maybe that's the command post or the key target.
So he makes a move.
Yeah, he identifies this target and rushes towards the little mound, the Tushan in that direction.
And the array, does it break?
Nope. It adapts. It's a dynamic defense. As he rushes, 4 or 5 women suddenly burst out, dressed in black. More opponents, and a change in formation. They instantly shift from the 5-blossom to the 6-blossom array, the Lu Zhen.
6 blossoms, so even more complex.
Even more surrounding power. His move was anticipated and countered. Now he's really cornered. Those lassos are flying. He's in trouble.
Okay, he needs something drastic, a distraction.
Exactly. He needs an out fast.
Yeah.
He calls for his servant, Chai Bao.
The servant gets involved.
Yep. Chai Bao pulls a firecracker, a huabao, from his sleeve, lights it, and chucks it over the women's heads.
A firecracker. Seriously.
Seriously, the boom, the sparks, it causes just enough surprise, just enough chaos.
To break their concentration.
Exactly. It gives Chai the critical split second he needs to evade the ropes and get clear.
That's kind of anticlimactic, but also genius.
Isn't it? That's the key insight, I think. This incredibly sophisticated military challenge, testing Sun Tzu-level knowledge.
Yeah.
It wasn't ultimately beaten by superior swordplay.
No.
It was beaten by quick, flexible thinking, resourcefulness, that Zuji Duomu requirement, using an unconventional, non-lethal tool at exactly the right moment.
A servant with a firecracker breaks the 6-blossom array. There's got to be a lesson there.
Oh, definitely. Maybe about crisis management or not underestimating simple solutions.
So he escapes. Is the test over then?
Almost. Just as he gets clear, there's this whistling sound,
Okay.
and a featherless decorative arrow, a mizu de hualingjian, it's called tied with a little colored bead, just strikes his cap. Doesn't hurt him.
A signal.
Exactly, a symbolic touch. The test is officially over. It confirms the goal was never to defeat him physically, but to assess his mind, his honor, his resourcefulness under pressure.
And then everything disappears.
Vanishes. The beauty, the windows, the lanterns, the women, the arrays, all gone. Like it was a perfectly staged, almost magical performance just for him.
Wow. What a night. So what happens next? Does he get the girl?
The resolution comes at dawn. The elder monk from the temple confirms it. Duke Tang will pick an auspicious day to formalize the engagement.
So he passed.
He passed. His successful navigation of that midnight military mind game proved his strategic worthiness. The marriage was absolutely contingent on his mental agility under fire.
Amazing. But this story, it's not just a cool anecdote, right? It has bigger historical implications.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just some colorful tale in a romance novel. It serves as the direct foundation for a really significant historical power partnership, one that literally shaped the Tang dynasty.
Okay, connect the dots for us.
Well, Chai Gongzi, also known as Chai Shao, his parents had died young, so he was sort of on his own. After this event, he immediately settles his affairs and follows Duke Tang back to Taiwan for the marriage.
Right.
Now, link that courtship directly to what happens next. When Duke Tang eventually raises his army to capture Chang'an and establish the Tang dynasty,
Yes.
there's this legendary division of women soldiers. They were called the Women's Army Division, the Niangzi Jun,
I've heard of them, led
directly by Chai Shao and his wife.
Thanks.
The very woman who set this test. Princess Pingyang, she'd become known as.
No way. So that partnership, her ability to raise and command troops, it wasn't just some random thing that happened later.
Not at all. It was essentially vetted and established right there during that courtship. The sources make it incredibly clear.
Wow.
That strategic partnership, the need for a wife who could not only test military strategy but lead alongside her husband, it was forged in that Moonlit Challenge. They weren't just vetted as husband and wife.
They were vetted as co-commanders.
Yeah.
Capable of handling things like the Five Blossom Array.
Exactly. Capable of recognizing it, entering it, and escaping it with honor and resourcefulness. That was the real requirement.
Meanwhile, Qin Shibao and his colleague, Fan Jianwei, they're on the road escorting prisoners.
Standard procedure for officials like them.
And they split up eventually.
Right.
Fan Xinwei heads off to Zezu.
Right.
And Qin Shibao goes to Luzhu. He's got his share of the documents and 2 of the prisoners.
And this is where the money situation becomes really critical. These officials, they operate on a state travel stipend. It's called Panfei Silver.
So like per diem.
Sort of, yeah. It covers food, lodging essentials while they're on the job. But the key is the money, or at least access to all of it, is often tied to completing the mission.
Proof of delivery.
You got it. Delivering the prisoners, submitting the paperwork, that closes the loop.
Okay. So he gets to Luzhu. Checks into the Taiyuan Wang store. And it's not just any hotel, which you pointed out is important. The source says it's the official Gongwen Xiachu.
The public document receiving location, basically official government business hotel, all the official traffic goes there.
Right. So he meets the owner, Wang Shi.
Who immediately says, look, everyone mixes up my name, just call me Wang Xiao. Little brother Wang.
Friendly enough start?
Yeah, very professional. Both sides assume this is going to be a quick, standard transaction.
And Qin Shibao really needs that speed. He asks straight away about the local governor, Censor Kai.
Needs to know the turnaround time. How quickly can I get my papers processed here?
A Wang Xiao, the innkeeper, he's full of praise.
Yeah.
Said Censor Kai is super efficient.
Yeah, don't worry about it. The initial forecast is like perfect.
Submit the documents and prisoners tomorrow morning.
Get the crucial authorization, the official sign-off, the huipi, the morning after that.
And that huipi is basically his ticket home, or at least releases his funds properly.
Exactly. It closes the books on this part of the assignment, lets him formally access the rest of his travel money for the return trip.
So, based on this intel, Qin Shibao figures, okay, 2 days, easy.
A nice, tidy schedule.
August 17th, he does his duty, delivers the prisoners, hands over the papers. Censor Kai says, great, come back tomorrow morning for the signed documents.
Everything's going exactly according to plan. Clockwork.
He's so relaxed, he spends the rest of the day sightseeing. checking out temples, local spots.
Yeah, completely chilled out. Because why wouldn't he be? He thinks he's got his quick exit sorted.
But he has no idea.
No clue that state administration, especially back then, is so tangled up with politics at the very top.
And here comes the landmine. August 18th. Qin Shubao turns up early at the Yamen, the government office.
Ready to pick up his papers?
Doors are shut, locked tight. The streets are weirdly quiet. Even the usually busy wine shops nearby. Nothing.
Ominous. He knows something's wrong.
Definitely. He finds a shop that's just sort of half open, asks around.
And the news is just staggering. Sensor Kai, he's gone. Completely vanished.
Left when?
3 watches into the night, so around midnight. Just upped and left in a massive hurry. Destination. Taiwan.
Why? Why abandon his post like that?
The reason. This is the core of it. He left to go congratulate a major VIP, Tang Li. Li.
Okay.
Li had just been appointed the inspecting commissioner, the Jingtai of Hebei province. Huge promotion. Massive deal.
So Sensor Kai had to rush off to basically pay respects?
Yeah.
Kiss the ring.
Pretty much. It's a high-level political obligation.
Yeah.
Mandatory. You don't send a card, you go in person. Immediately.
Wow. And the terrible irony the author throws in.
Crushing, isn't it? Qin Shubao hears the name Li and instantly recognizes him.
It's the guy he saved.
The very man Qin Shubao rescued, heroically, back on Mount Lintong.
So his own past heroism is now indirectly causing this disaster for him. Because the guy he saved got promoted, the local official had to leave.
Talk about karma having a weird sense of humor. It completely backfired on him.
So the shopkeeper explains the situation.
Yeah, the young guy tells him, look, this Li fellow is known as a benevolent and generous distinguished official, which means
Lots of parties.
lots of feasting, socializing, networking, plus the travel time to Taiwan and back. Sensor Kai is going to be gone for minimum half a month.
Half a month?
Maybe even 20 days.
20 days. He went from expecting a 2-day stay to maybe 3 weeks.
Exactly. And because the Yamen is shut, his huipi cannot be signed.
Which means his official mission is stalled.
His funds can't be properly accessed or released for the return. And legally, he has to stay in Luzhu until Sensor Kai gets back and signs those papers.
He's totally, completely stranded.
Absolutely stuck. And this is where his reputation starts to work against him in a funny way.
How so?
Well, Qin Shubao is described as a Shandong hero. Shandong Haoji, famous for being, well, a big guy.
Big reputation, big stature.
And a famously large appetite to match. This isn't just flavor text in the novel. A big appetite signaled great physical power, great vigor, capacity for battle.
Okay, but that capacity for battle means...
Capacity for eating. A lot.
How much are we talking? Is it significant?
The source is quite specific, almost comically so. He eats a dew of rice per meal.
A dew. What's that in, like, normal terms?
A dew is a traditional measure, roughly 10 liters, or get this, maybe 20 pounds of grain.
20 pounds per meal.
Yeah. Now, okay, maybe there's some novelistic hyperbole there, but the point is clear. He's a phenomenally expensive guest.
He's not nibbling. He's eating like...
Like a one-man army needs refueling, like a siege engine, as you said before.
So Qin Shubao is stuck, waiting.
And eating.
And eating. And eating. The story says after just 10 days straight.
10 days.
He'd eaten through Wang Zhao's entire working capital, a few taels of silver, which is probably all the cash the innkeeper had on hand.
And because the Yamen was closed? Right. No other official business was coming through. The inn's only customer was this hero who was eating him out of house and home.
Oh, Wang Zhao must be panicking.
Totally panicking. He complains bitterly to his wife, Lu Shi, calls Qin Shubao a star of financial misfortune, a walking disaster for his finances.
Ouch.
Yeah. All my money is buried in his belly. That's the quote. He actually asks his wife, Lu Shi,
who he calls most virtuous and capable.
Right. He asks her to go ask Qin Shubao for the money. He thinks maybe a woman asking humbly might soften the blow, be better tolerated.
But Lu Shi, she's wiser than that.
Much wiser. And full of trust. She refuses point blank. She quotes this amazing line, "Entry to a house, do not ask about prosperity or ruin. Observing the face will suffice."
Wow. What does that mean exactly?
It's about reading character. She's saying, look at him. Look at his bearing, his honor. You can tell his quality just by looking at him. She trusts his face, his aura.
So she believes in the hero's honor.
Absolutely. She tells her husband, relax. He's a Shandong official. He's good for it. He'll pay up when the official business is done. She's betting on his reputation over their empty cash box.
But reputation doesn't pay the bills immediately.
Exactly. Reality bites hard. After 2 more agonizing days of this, Wang Zhao just can't take it anymore. He's desperate.
So he finally confronts him.
Nervously, approaches Qin Shubao during lunchtime, offers him tea, very respectfully, very humbly.
I asked for him.
Asks if maybe, just maybe, the esteemed official could possibly pre-advance a few taels of silver, just to tide him over.
How does Qin Shubao react? Is he offended?
Not at all. His reaction is pure hero class, immediate composure, no anger. He readily agrees.
Really?
Yeah. He even acknowledges his own oversight, like, oh, right, of course I should have settled up earlier, my bad. And tells Wang Zhao, sure, follow me to my room, I'll get the silver.
Oh, Wang Zhao must be so relieved. He thinks he's saved.
Waylated. Practically runs into the room after Qin Shubao. He's picturing those silver taels.
Qin Shubao goes to his luggage.
His traveling chest, the Qiong, opens it up by the bed, reaches inside.
Oh.
And then comes that incredible line, the gut punch. The moment the whole heroic facade just crumbles against cold, hard cash reality.
What's the line?
Bedside gold exhausted, the brave warrior loses color.
Oh, no, there's nothing there.
Nothing. Empty. He realizes in that instant, he's completely broke, stranded in this town without a single coin.
But wait, why? How could a high-ranking official be traveling without his Panfei silver? That makes no sense.
Well, it comes down to trust. And, rushing things. Remember Fan Jianwei, his colleague?
The one he split up with earlier? Yeah.
They weren't just colleagues. The text stresses they were incredibly close friends. Like brothers, heroes from the same circuit. Deep bond.
Okay.
So when the state treasury paid out the travel funds for their joint mission, the money for both men was dispersed together as one lump sum.
And because they were such good friends.
They didn't bother splitting it right away. They trusted each other implicitly. This source literally says they operated on a principle of not distinguishing between yours and mine.
Wow.
So the entire travel fund for both of them was put into Fan Jianwei's keeping.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yep. In their rush to separate the border, dividing the prisoners, sorting the documents, they just forgot. They completely forgot to split the money.
Fan Jianwei walked off with all the cash.
Unknowingly, he took every last tael of their Panfei silver with him to Zezou.
So the very thing that made Qin Shubao a great comrade, that deep trust, that loyalty, is the exact reason he's now financially ruined.
Precisely. The irony is devastating. His face, the text says, instantly swells red. Not with anger.
With embarrassment. Yeah. Sheer monumental embarrassment.
Got it. And poor Wang Zhao is just standing there, completely clueless, watching the hero fumble in the chest.
He probably thinks he's looking for the right size ingot or something.
Yeah, or maybe weighing it. He has absolutely no idea that the man who just promised him payment has realized he possesses nothing. Zero.
And the chapter just ends there. On that cliffhanger.
Right on that moment of impossible, mortifying tension, Qin Shubao, the great hero, has promised money he doesn't have.